Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Tonight, we're covering the disappearance of Summer Moon Utah Wells, a 5-year-old little girl who vanished from her Rogersville, Tennessee home in Hawkins County, Tennessee on June 15th, 2021. Tonight's discussion, we are going to be following what the TBI, or the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, has recently followed up on a new lead in the 3500 block of Van Hill Road in Greeneville, Tennessee, reinforcing that this case is still active and ongoing. We're also going to be walking through and questioning inconsistencies that is with the parents and maybe some new things that we have learned in the Summer Wells case. A lot to talk about. Get ready on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong.
Thank you, Lori.
Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me judged by the gloss, not the cause. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearl. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is December 27th, 2025. It is currently 9:35 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Oui, oui. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. We're talking about Summer Moon Utah Wells, who vanished from her Rogersville, Tennessee home on June 15th, 2021. Since then, there has been no sighting of Summer, and still yet today, we have no idea what happened to her. And police have not given TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, has not said a lot in those last 4 years nearly. And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Recently, they did a search. The biggest break, I would say, potential break, since she went missing, and that was at the 3500 block at Van Hill Road. Now, I am learned a little bit of new information that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, and we'll get to that. But guys, before we get started, please do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly, greatly appreciate it, and share the live out for extra bonus points. It means so much. Let me say hello to a few of you in chat. Good to see you all. Hello, Mrs. ICU. Good to see you, my darling. Webbs, Daphne, bonjour. Kelly, mwah. Good to see you. YouTuber, pleasure, my darling. Sherry, good to see you, dear. CJ, hello. Scorpio, hello. Choose me, you're very sweet. Linda, hello. Rickson, bonjour. Shelby, good to see you, my dear. Meme Jean, hello. Joy, thank you so much. Good to see you. Pam, hello, darling. Good to see you. Robin, hello. Melissa Francais, 7189. Good to see you, darling. Appreciate you. Stevens, good to see you, my dear. Hold on, what is it? I never get this. I'm saying it wrong. Reno? Is that how you pronounce it? Is that how you pronounce it? Sherry, it's like the other day I forget what it was, but I was laughing so hard because it was two names, but I made it into one because there's not a space. I'm like, I'm so dumb sometimes. Lolo, good to see you, my dear. Good to see everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me. Chaz got a parrot for Christmas, and he's my first, and his first word were pearls. Haha, that's funny, Chaz. Thank you so much. Congratulations on your parrot, my dear. Pam, Cindy, good to see everyone. Thank y'all so much for being here. Tonight we're talking about Summer Moon Utah Wells, who vanished, like I said, from her Rogersville, Tennessee home. And that we haven't really heard much in what's been, nothing, essentially nothing since they have searched that. But we dug into the tree trimmers, which again still could be a possibility, still could very much be a possibility. But I'm also learning another connection that particularly Dawn may have to individuals around the 3500 block, we'll say. Again, I want to emphasize that no one has been named a suspect in the disappearance of Summer Moon Utah Wells. You guys know how I personally feel about this case. I've been, on this case since day one. And like Chris McDonough from the interview room says, I haven't left the house, and I still haven't left the house. But that being said, in my opinion, the TBI, Hawkins County, all of them doesn't go for just any reason, especially with as many vehicles that was there, right? So we're going to talk about all those things. Lori, thank you so much for gifting 5. You received one of those pearl necklaces. Give a girl, Lori, a big, big thank you. Thank you so much for your support, my dear. I hope you and yours had a Merry Christmas, my dear. Good to see you. Appreciate that. And Tina, good to see you, my dear. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Can we send prayers and thoughts to Mallory? Her home had a fire and lost it. Of course. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Everyone got out. Okay, that's the oh, absolutely. Mallory, goodness gracious. We are definitely keeping you and your family in our prayers. That's really bad. It's bad at any time, but winter and being around the holidays, that's just worst. You know, I'm so sorry about that. Thank you for that, my dear. Yeah, really bad. Gosh. I had is Mallory in here? I think its electrical fire was yesterday. Very sad. Oh my goodness. It's scary. It's scary. It is. I mean, gosh. The main thing is that they're okay, but it still doesn't, get lost. You know what I mean? Okay. I don't see her, but she said yesterday, so sad. Okay. Goodness. Absolutely. Oh wow, Brandy. I hope yeah, you got to be careful with electrical stuff. It is dangerous. Dangerous to say the least. All right, guys. So we're going to go over um what we know about this uh 3500 block. And again, I want to say that nobody has been named a suspect, a person of interest, anything of that. Now, I will say my opinions this evening, and my opinions are just that, my opinions. Do your own research and form your own opinion accordingly. Okay, so that being said, recently, about a month ago, out of nowhere, there was local law enforcement, TBI, and FBI at the 3500 block of Van Hill Road. Now, Van Hill Road is very close to Ben Hill Road. It's about 9-10 miles. And I know a lot of people think 9 or 10 miles is far away. It's not in the country. It's not in the rural. I mean, that's like getting out of your driveway in the country. It's virtually nothing. In fact, I've been to Ben Hill Road many, many times, and I can tell you that I have to go past Van Hill Road before I can even get to Ben Hill Road. Okay. So that being said, it's not far at all in the neighborhood. Hey, Red Moon Bliss, good to see you, my dear. Thank you for 7 months. Appreciate you. Thank you, blessing for all you do for these beautiful children. Much respect. Thank you, Red Moon. I appreciate you, my dear. 7 months means so much of your continued support. Truly. Thank you so much, hon. Okay. So now there's seems like there's something. What that is, I don't know. I will say that, in my opinion, I would be shocked if the home that they were at, the people that live there, I would be shocked if they had anything to do with it. And again, nobody has said that they have or whatever. But um, it could be perhaps family or someone they know, or maybe nothing at all, right? Maybe nothing at all. But let's listen to what WJHL had to say then, and then we're going to get into it. So full credit goes to WJHL. They have been on this case since pretty much minute one in this. So without further ado, let's get started. Maybe if I turn the volume on.
Statement of a new lead the agency followed up on in the search for Summer Wells.
It happened at the 3500 block of Van Hill Road, not far off from where Summer was last seen over 4 years ago. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniel has followed up on this new information as the Amber Alert for Summer still remains active.
This is Van Hill Road. It's about 9.5 miles from the Wells family home on Ben Hill Road, where Summer was reported missing. As you can see, there are posters here with her information on them. And last week, law enforcement conducted a search on this road in the 3500 block. It's about 2 miles back from where I'm standing here. It's very similar to Beach Creek, as the homes are spread out and there is a lot of land. It's also close to the Greene County line. We did reach out to Don and Candace after the TBI confirmed a recent search in their daughter's case. They said they do not.
Okay, so Leslie, not Leslie, I'm trying to think of the name here. Ansley. She is on the corner of Van Hill Road. It's not like a long road or anything like that. But then she, this is the curve that goes around. And then this is allegedly that the home that they were at. And there was, from what I understand from locals, there was cars along all of this and in their driveway as well. I'm sure they just didn't want to go there and, stick a camera right up to their house, of course.
Her daughter's case. They said they do not want to be interviewed as they are waiting to hear more from the TBI and, quote, otherwise, it is just more drama and stirred pain, so there was nothing to say, end quote. We reached out to Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, too, and have yet to hear back. We also stopped by his office today and were told that he wasn't in. The TBI couldn't tell us what the tip about Summer was that led them here to Van Hill Road, or if anything came of it. In Hawkins County, Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
Okay. All right. So, again, that's pretty much all they said there. And Don and Candace were pretty quiet about all of that. Which you would think that, what did Elafide say? One of C's cousins. She spilled a lot of info, and to me, it's one of the more logical explanations for why it may have happened. No, I'd love to see that, Elafide. Love to see that, actually. Where can I see that? But Don and Candace just said that, quote, otherwise, it's just more stirred pain, so there's nothing to say, in part. Which would be weird, if you ask me. Pretty weird that really the only tip in 4.5 years is more drama and stirred pain. Okay. We'll play it. We'll play it here. I'd like to hear that. I would like to hear that. Well, I'm been speaking to locals and neighbors and all of that, and I can tell you again, I don't think the actual property owner, I want to make that very much clear, has anything. I would be extraordinarily shocked saying that. Everyone that I have spoken to have said he seems like a really good guy. I've known him for years, but that can be deceiving as well. Just to be fair, even though I don't think, again, he has any part, but that doesn't mean people around him, right? And it doesn't mean people around him has anything to do with it either. But I will say that we'll say the tree trimmers, and I say that because outside of this, how can I put it? I will say, okay, so what I have learned is that Dawn has allegedly known the family for years, and that one of the members, who is, we'll just say, a tree trimmer, has that they have worked together in passing, if you will. And it to me, it makes sense because Dawn is always working on houses, right? Always working on houses. And if it's new construction, it's generally new construction, from what I understand. Maybe it's not, but new construction that I'm aware of. And who else is in your neighborhood? Well, tree trimmers, right? It's kind of like, how can I say it? You know how like if you're a construction worker or whatever, how you might know other construction workers or heating and cooling guys that'll come in and work in the neighborhood. You get what I mean? Am I making myself understandable? Who's CB? I know DW. That's Candace Bly, and there's I guess that's who they're talking about. Yeah. So did you send that to me? Did you text it or did you email it? Let me check here. So that's how they've already knew each other. Like the families, I guess, but emailed. Okay, thank you. A laugh a day. This person, from what I understand, also does a lot of like mowing and like farm work, if you will. Like hold on. Justin, don't hold me to it. I think the call was back a long time ago. Don't hold me to it. What call? I don't know what you mean, the call. YouTuber, yeah. They never accused Andy or each other. So odd. I don't think Andy or Fred has anything to do with it, in my opinion. I just don't. Okay. All right, I got that. Let me. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. I'll look at that, Allison. I'll look at that in a little bit. My hair is almost to my waist, but it's not. Oh, sorry. Okay. So they accused everyone else just off, in my opinion. I mean, I understand. Don never really did accuse Andy, which I get. Is pretty weird. I think it's interesting how Don was down at the house after Summer went missing, and I think it's odd how Candace was allegedly at the house before she went missing, as well. But no, there's something. To sum it up short, Candace's cousin says Wells aren't involved. It was a drug thing, and S was an intended target. No. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. I'm just going to tell you that. No. Mm-mm. Nope. In my opinion, no. Nope. You do not lie about being home all day. You don't lie. Don was home all fucking day. No. Mm-mm. No, he's the biggest liar that God ever stretched a piece of skin over. Don is. And no. This, I mean, I'm sorry. They might be family or whatever. But a man who, and a mother who doesn't eat like this tip, it's more stirred pain. These mother chickens have lied from the get-go about virtually everything. In fact, they have created lies that never happened. These fake calls of crying and all of that. No way. Right? No way. Not a chance. I do think this was planned. I absolutely think this was planned. Don fired Dudley the day before. He didn't want Dudley to be there to say he wasn't at work. Don, even the tree trimmers said that Don was home all morning long. No, there's just no way. Don has said that children close to him, a girl, quote, had a body from hell. Candace has pictures of her laying in bed with Hunter. Don has broken in women's homes to steal their panties so he could pleasure himself with. And that's in the police report that I've shown you guys. They lived with Arkansas's two biggest registered S offenders, receiving each 120 years in prison. The photos that they took of Summer is inappropriate at best. And we actually have a picture that I had never seen before of Summer out in public without any shirt on. It wasn't like walking down the street, but it was in a like a public park area. No. No way. No bueno. Hey, Kiki, thank you so much, dear. Appreciate you. Thank you, love. All right, Rusty, is there any truth to the allegations of Don Wells wrecking me at that area? Yes. Yep. He 110% wrecked that area. And not only when he wrecked in that area, guess who gave him a ride home? Well, okay, let's make it clear. So when I broke that, remember I broke and I said that Dawn tried to run over Candace, and that with the Subaru, I always thought it was on the hill, Ben Hill Road. That's what I always thought. It wasn't. It was on Van Hill Road. And it was right near the property of where they were actually searching. Don hit a tree there, and he was given a ride back home by someone who is affiliated with that property. Not only that, remember when was it? When Don got, I think, his last DUI, when he said he was going out for cigarettes or something like that. That's Don got pulled over right there next to Van Hill. He got pulled over on Van Hill Road as well. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Sure did. Hey, Electronic Medium, good to see you. What bothers me is the night while FaceTiming her friend, Hunter mother, she was playing with her hat and just being goofy, messing around, and she wasn't serious or crying. When I say this, I don't want it. I really don't mean it snarky or anything like that. But Candace has lived a rough ass life. She's lived a life of true, in my opinion, abuse and neglect since pretty much the day she was born, which is really sad. But when she was younger, and when she was, over the age of 18, she was homeless many times throughout her life. And she's really used to loss. Not only that, she's used to the loss of children as well. You've got to remember, this isn't her first, these 4 are not her first 4 children. There is 3 other children behind the 4, right? There's 3 other children behind the 4. So, she had 2 in one state, and then she was pregnant, got pregnant, and in Arkansas, and she allegedly was high as hell on meth whenever the ambulance took her in because she was having the baby, and they took the baby immediately from her. Right. Her sister's missing too. Yeah. So, yep. That's right. Fun to ski. So she's used to loss, right? Hey, Raymond, good to see you, my friend. And I think Candace, she needs a man in her life, she feels. And that is what she needs to. And I think she will, especially like Dawn, I think she will give up anybody or anything for Dawn. Now, allegedly, they're not living. I've heard that they're kind of split right now. I'll find out more probably tomorrow on that. But I have heard that Dawn is in one place, Candace is in another. But the last live I did, they were together. So there's that. Really, Jamie? Let me see what's going on. Yeah, they got this. I think it is. I think it's a man's need for validation. You got to remember, she, Grandis, pretty much left Candace and I think it was her sibling when they were pretty young. And I don't know, I can't remember if it's her bio father or her stepfather. I think it was her bio father, maybe. And he raised them, and he was quite older. He was like an older man, right? If one of them were to finally break and say something, which do you think it would be? Candace. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. No. I do think Summer's case will come to a resolution, though. I do. And hopefully sooner than later. Hopefully sooner than later. I mean, the thing about this case is everyone has been thrown under the bus, unfortunately, in that, pretty much on that road. But again, I haven't left the house, and I won't leave the house until there is something, which I can't think of nothing after 4 years plus, that would explain why a father would lie about where he was. Why the day before he took a brand new car and packed his tools. And why he said he took the car to work. And then years later, on Josh's channel, The Lab with Chris McDonough from the interview room, he said, no, I took the car the day before. I didn't take it that day. You know, there were times where, in this case, where it was actually very unpopular to still think Dawn and Candace did, you know, no more. But I'm okay with being unpopular if that's you know, the way it is. It's something. It's something. Okay. So let's just take, for example, this was done 6 months ago, according to News 5 WCBY. Let me drop their banner here. First one that popped up. Look at this. Family clings to hope 4 years after Summer Wells went missing from her Hawkins County home. Well, let me do this so we don't get an ad. 1 second. Oops, no. Okay, here we go.
June 15th will mark 4 years since Summer Wells went missing from her Hawkins County home. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation agents have followed up on thousands of leads in Summer's disappearance over the last 4 years, but there still is no sign of her. Newside's Kristen Kwan recently sat down with the Wells family to talk about Summer's disappearance.
Look at this.
Dawn and Candace Wells, Summer's parents, say it's been a tough 4 years. The investigation is still hard for them to talk about, but they tell me they're doing the best they can.
It's not hard for them to talk about. It's just that they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to answer the hard questions. They don't want to talk about the things that matter, like timings and all of that. They don't want to talk about the inconsistencies. It's not hard. I mean, I'm sure it is hard to speak about it if you, I know it would be hard if you're not involved or don't know. And it's hard if you know as well. Right?
And do believe they will see Summer again. The bench here in front of the Wells' home in Beach Creek, a loving tribute to a little girl.
Let me
who
just
vanished.
show you something, by the way. You see these flyers right here? You see these flyers right here? Let me just show you right here where it says take one, and then it's got Summer right there. All right. Explain to me. Give me one good reason, and I will shut the hell up on this because there's not. But give me one reason why, for instance, our dear Nana in this community, who we haven't always agreed with, I have not always agreed with on this case, and she hasn't always agreed with me, but I love the woman dearly because she's got a heart of gold. And she has busted her ass on this case. And I mean pounding the damn pavement on this case. She puts up those flyers right there. Right. Please take one right there. Puts them all over Rogersville, all over the area. Right. And tell me this. Give me one good reason why Dawn Wells keeps taking them down. This is at the end. This right here that you see right here is at the end of Dawn and Candace's Wells property. Tell me why Dawn Wells is taking the flyers of Summer down. If he doesn't know anything, if he's not involved and all of that, and then tell me why he proceeds to make an ass out of himself just a couple weeks ago during the summer, well, not just summer, but the missing children's Christmas tree light. Right? So, I don't buy. I don't buy for a second. I'm glad. I know, Grace. I'm telling you, because I'd have probably been in jail for that one. If I saw him talking to Nana like that. Dawn may be tall, but I've got a 5-inch pump that would go up his ass. In other news, but yeah, tell me why someone that misses his daughter so dearly, he says, right, would do something like this if he's not involved, if he doesn't know, even if he just gives a damn.
Wells' home in Beach Creek, a loving tribute to a little girl who vanished from her home. Summer Wells' father, Don Wells, says the past 4 years have been a nightmare.
It's been really
Hey,
tough.
Nana.
Wells says he's heartbroken,
Love you, honey.
frustrated, just trying to take it day by day. And he still believes Summer was kidnapped from their home.
Was there 1 minute and the next she wasn't.
Wells says Summer's disappearance, on top of the cruelty they face from social media and the public, has made life even more difficult.
The social media groups would attack anybody that we knew, any employer that we worked for. And so it made it really hard for us to obtain employment and all these things. And but there's been people that's helped us, along the way, and we really appreciate that.
No, not just helped. Not just helped. Let me tell you something. I have never seen an outpouring of a community that helped this man and his wife. They were given so much money, so much of people's time, so much resources. Just people giving them money, gift cards, things for their house to fix up their house, people going in, all kinds of groups of people going in there and fixing their house so that they could get their kids back. And you know what? This drunken SOB right here, who looks like Satan in the flesh, if you ask me, wouldn't get a psychological test done, allegedly, because I guess they didn't want, that was part of it, to get your kids back. So you tell me. Yeah, they want to do everything to get their kids back, right? Yeah. Like they're $10 a whole month to pay for their child support. Yeah. They almost got sent to jail for that. But that'll, they'll pay it as long as it doesn't throw them back in jail.
For sure.
He's also frustrated with
Don will break into his Coke fund for that.
Hawkins County law enforcement and the Department of Children's Services. Don and Candace ultimately signed over their rights to their 3 boys to the state.
And tore our house apart 11 times. I've never even heard of that before. I mean, to me, that's...
Yeah. He's right. Sure is. Don says the TBI has been there 11 times. Broken in their house, he says. And you don't think they have nothing to do with it? In my opinion, allegedly. They're not going there for milk and cookies. TBI aren't going there for milk and cookies, that's for damn sure. Right? Why would they be breaking in their house, as he says, or more like going into their house 11 times if they weren't interested in things on that property? Because Summer is not on the property. Right? But maybe other things are. maybe the people that know that that whatever happened to little Summer, they haven't knocked down any other doors 11 times. Come on, y'all. You should just.
I don't know. It really hurt. The whole thing has really hurt me and Candace a lot, but we're still hanging in there for our kids and trying to do what's right.
No, you're not.
And holding out hope that Summer will be found.
Wells clinging to his faith and has a
I think it's the quite opposite of that. You're hoping she won't, but that's just my opinion.
message for his children.
Just that we love them very much and we'd like to see them come home. And we really want to see them, involved in our church and worship our God in our church.
Kristen Kwan, News 5, WCYB.
FBI, open up!
Yeah. Okay, Don. Gotcha. He's a snake. He is a snake, if you ask me. Yeah, but that's old Don Wells. Don Wells. Right there. I was trying to find something. I think that's the same
The
one.
groups would attack.
This is the one. No. Hold on. This might be it.
An Amber Alert vigil to help.
And that's,
Oh.
I'm just having to.
Here it is.
Well, this Saturday marks 3
For her, that would later.
Wells and are not any closer to finding her. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniel
This was the 3-year anniversary of Summer missing.
spoke with Summer's parents.
We have pushed investigators for months to learn about new details or updates in this
I don't know,
case.
Susan.
What we do know is that her family
I don't know. That's what someone else was saying. I have no idea. There's an echo. YouTube is very strange right now. I've been having
continues their search to bring Summer home. I spoke with both Dawn and Candace Wells in Kingsport at a place with deep meaning to Summer's disappearance. Borden Park is anything but quiet this time of year. But 3 years ago, it was filled almost weekly with people praying for Summer Wells.
I see all these families, with their kids and how much they enjoy them and stuff. And we were stripped away from all our kids. All our kids have been kidnapped from us by DCS, and we're not sure about Summer, but we know about where our boys are at.
While the prayer vigils are now few and far between, Dawn and Candace Wells haven't stopped praying that their daughter Summer will be found.
We have hope, always. But there's not much hope in this world.
Okay, that should help the ads thingy. I don't know why it's doing it. I got it on automatic. So okay. Don says that they kidnapped his kids. He first said that he let CPS take the kids because it was just so dangerous at his house in the beginning. But remember, the day before Summer vanished, that's when Dawn fired Dudley. Right? Now, Dawn says CPS was there that evening, the day before Summer went missing, which I believe happened. I do believe that. Now, what the part I don't believe happened is he said they came there 2 different vehicles to clear them to end their case out. To end their case out since 2009 Sandwich. And again, CPS they don't come with one there to close your case out, let alone two to end your case out. You get a letter. Their resources are stretched the way it is already.
You know, we have.
He tries to be the Wish version of Fabio, but with like an Appalachian but surfer accent.
We have to trust God that there's hope and eternal life in heaven.
Summer was reported missing on June the 15th of 2021.
We know that she was taken off our property, and we know she was taken away in a vehicle, or they would have found her in the area if she was somewhere in the area. But who's responsible?
Yes, yes, Dr. Phil did. And let me tell you something. I don't blame Candace on that. Dr. Phil, if you want me on the show and you will get me some new veneers, fuck yes, I'll come on. Okay.
For her,
little boat.
We don't know.
I asked Don and Candace when was the last time they heard from investigators.
We haven't lately at all. It's been a while, over a year, I think. I haven't talked to any law enforcement at all. I tried to talk.
Now, question. Would you go a year and not speak to law enforcement about your missing daughter? Would you? Most people wouldn't go a damn week. Right? I think it's been what? God, a year. Dear Lordy. God, he cares so much. He just cares so much. It's unbelievable how much he cares.
We don't know.
I asked Don and Candace when was the last time they heard from investigators.
We haven't lately at all. It's been a while, over a year, I think. I haven't talked to any law enforcement at all. I tried to talk to the FBI agent about it, but that didn't go anywhere.
Don says he feels that he and his wife Candace were targeted by the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office.
They intimidated
you. Yeah. Says the person who brags his ass off about growing up in police custody in the prison system from the East Coast to the West Coast. But he also says that prison or death is better than prison. We're going to get to that in just a minute. Just 1 second.
They belittled us and done everything they could amidst all the chaos, and then the CPS was there doing the same thing.
When asked about how he thinks about Summer's disappearance 3 years later, Don spoke about a Department of Children's Services investigation.
They said somebody had called and said that we was giving our kids loaded guns to play with, and so they closed the case.
And let me tell you something. I believe that person, whoever it was that said they were giving loaded pew-pews to play with. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. The supporting evidence, in my opinion. Well, for starters, there's a picture of all the kids in a line with, looks like to be pellet guns or BB guns. There's that, number one. Number two, in my opinion, supporting evidence is you have Dudley saying that Don was smoking weed with his minor child at work. You've got Candace, who is giving a child alcoholic beverages and vapes as well. And I can just go on and on and on for that. Right. So it's not a far cry, I would think, that Well, and then, I mean, I can just go on and on and on for this. There's pictures of Candace and Don and all of them with minors at their house with alcohol in their hand and all that. So,
Is June 14th, which is something CPS does not do. They don't just close cases. So it's really odd and mystifying.
oh, so this is what we call a liar trying to do some reverse psychology here, because they'll spit out a little bit of truth, but then they'll turn it to their what they think is their advantage. Listen to that.
So, and
Department of Children's Services investigation.
they said somebody had called and said that we was giving our kids loaded guns to play with. And so they closed the case June 14th, which is something CPS does not do. They don't just close cases. So it's really odd.
Now, here he's honestly, as ludicrous as it is, he's trying to make it seem like CPS is out to get Don and Candace, right? Just whatever happened, they're mad at Don and Candace, right? That's the furthest thing from the truth. They didn't do the first in the what was supposed to be done in the first place is take care of your kids and provide them with a safe environment, right? CPS, again, I can tell you this 100%. CPS, they don't care about how your house looks per se or anything like that. It has to be safe. Safe. That's all they're there for, is safety. Whether that's mental safety, physical safety, right? Safety of the home, safety, anything safety. If you're not safe, that's a problem for CPS, right? Your house can be pretty much a hoarder, as long as it's not like unsafe, like biological stuff, everywhere and that kind of thing. That's all. And I don't think that's um, a a big thing to ask, that your kids be safe, right? Yes, yes, Melissa, that's what he's saying. Yes. He's saying CPS was at our house the day before, and after we told him that, Don, CPS does not come to your house to close a case. And remember, 2 vehicles came that day. 2 vehicles came that day. That on the 14th. But he wants you to think that, yeah, Hawkins County and Sheriff's Office, TBI, and CPS are all in this, together, that they just kidnapped the kids or whatever. He's got the brain of a ramen noodle packet dehydrated shrimp.
And mystifying why they closed the case June 14th, and then 24 hours later, Summer's gone.
Summer's mother, Candace, sat in for part of our interview, but
Get a bra.
got up after a few questions.
She was going to try, but her emotions are just too much.
The last update in the Summer Wells case from law enforcement was an age-progressed photo released in June of last year. This image was released by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. If you have any information about the whereabouts of Summer Wells, call 1-800-TBI-FIND. That number is right there on your screen.
Oh my God. I just can't imagine. These people. Don did an interview with Chris McDonough from the interview room. And well, let me just show you this. I've shown this before, but I just popped up, so I'm just going to show you. This was Summer's room after they cleaned the dungeon and they showed it on Dr. Phil. This was Summer in her little brother's room, which is better, a lot better than it was. That's for damn sure. It's sad. It looks like an orphanage in, Nigeria, but it's better than it was, right? At least there's some light, and the mold and stuff is not there and all that, but yeah, there's that. Okay, one second. This, what should I do first? Okay, here's a quote from Candace about the day that Candace talks about what happened that day. She says, on June 15, 2021, the words of Candace Bly Wells, mother of missing Summer Wells, quote, "We come home, and then me and my mom, Grandis, the boys were in watching YouTube like they always do. My mom says, let's rearrange the plants, the flowers. They changed it. She changed it. It used to be plant the flowers. And then she says, rearrange." This is a quote, by the way. "Well, we know the boys aren't going to help us. I know Summer will. So I yelled for Summer. She was in the house with the boys. She comes out and she was planting flowers with us. The flowers were put in planters next to Grandma's Candy's camper, with Summer handling some of the task. She put all of the rocks on top, put Chase in there. It was a little toy. She did all the rocks herself. We went in to grandmother's after we were done. She asked Grandma for a piece of candy." And that was peppermint candy, by the way. "Grandma gave her a piece of candy. She told me she wanted to go back over with the boys. So I literally walked her," end quote, "halfway between the camper and the house." Sorry, end quote. Quote, "I watched her go in the door and I could see her brothers at the kitchen table. When she went in, I walked over and yelled at the boys. I said, 'Watch Summer. I'll be right back. I've got to fix Mom's knee brace.' I was standing, walk back to the door. Uh, Hold on. Where's the rest of my damn quote? Hold on. Sorry, I was standing right there at the camper. I was over there fixing it," meaning the knee brace. "Literally, you can see my house from the camper door." And I'm going to show you about that. Okay. You're going to see what's what. Okay. So take a look at this. Guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Greatly, greatly appreciate that. Okay. So this is Summer's home. Don, Candace, the boys at the top. And this is Grandma's camper. Okay. This is Grandma's camper. This is where the doorway is. Right here is where the doorway is to the house. Okay? Candace and Grandis, they're fixing like a flower pot right here, whatever they say. And then she says they go in, get a piece of candy, washes her hands, and then they come back out because she says Summer wanted to go over here to go play with her brothers, rather. And she says, boys. She literally walks her over here. Now, does anyone worth their damn salt for a minute thinks someone who doesn't care to wear a fucking bra at a news station and the world to see her is going to walk her 5-year-old daughter, who she has already lost 3 children, over 30 feet? Thank you. Yeah. When you can just watch her right there. But anyway, I literally walked Summer over and said, boys, watch your sister. I'll be right back in 2 minutes. I'm going to help Mom fix her knee brace. She walks back over, helps her fix her knee brace. 2 minutes, she says, if that. She comes back over and says, boys, where's your sister at? Where's she at? Oh, Mom, she went to play downstairs. Okay. Summer, where are you at? Downstairs, the dungeon, aka the dungeon, the dark dungeon. She doesn't answer. Candace says, Summer always answers me. And she goes downstairs and, quote, she was just gone. Now, this is the only other entrance out of this house, right here where this green metal thing is. It's a little thing that goes over the porch. And it's locked. That is what Donnie Candace said in the beginning. It was locked. Nobody goes in. Nobody goes out that door. So, how did Summer get out? Don and Candace say that they surmise that someone came up on this mountain and took Summer. When there's 27 dogs everywhere, a pregnant dog right underneath here with puppies, even though Don says they were on vacation that day, and nobody heard or saw anything in those 2 minutes. Not a chance. Not a fucking chance. Anywho. Right? Okay. So, we're going to get to something Don in a minute, but I want to show you this real quick. These are quotes from Candace. So I went down there and I searched. I looked everywhere I could. Then I went through the house and I kept calling for her, yelling for her, everything. I came out here outside, yelling for her, everything else, and she was nowhere. So I called Dawn because I was freaking out. Quote, I said, I can't find Summer. Get home now. He was like, call 911. So I dropped my phone because I had to run over and get Mom's phone and dial 911 because her AT&T phone is the only one that works out here to call 911. So I called them and told them what's going on. AT&T did not work for me in 2021 on Ben Hill Road, just an FYI. I've had AT&T since 2005, maybe even longer than that. Before the cops even came out, I went down and told my neighbors. This is this is Candace's words, rather. Summer is missing. Will you help me look? Just in case she did wander off. But I knew in the back of my mind she never wandered off. She never went nowhere without me. She'll ask me to do something before she even goes and does it. And she's scared to go in the woods herself because we've told her time and time again because of the bears and snakes. I sent the older boys down through the creek. If they've got a walkie-talkie and their buck knife, they can go down through there. I sent all them searching, and I went out in my mom's truck and went all the way down by the church, then went all the way down the other way, and I didn't see nobody even out and about, end quote. Quote, then I went all the way back in the holler as fast as the truck can go, and I didn't see nothing back in there either. When I came back up out of the holler, the cops were coming up in my driveway. So I just followed them up into here. I don't recall if Don was here before the police got here or if he was here at the same time they showed up. We searched everywhere we could possibly search. They were out here for 3 or 4 days straight, searching 500 acres, 5,000 acres rather. They searched all this mountain terrain, all the way down through here. They smiled to put on a good show, but other than that, I know they're really upset. They ask me every day, talking about our boys, is Summer coming home today? I can't answer that. I don't know. I find myself sitting out here until midnight or 1 o'clock at night, just hoping maybe that whoever took her or whatever happened, she'll come wandering back up the driveway to us. That was Candace Wells in the very, very early days of I believe the phones were deleted because the dealers and their numbers was, yeah, they can delete it till the day of judgment, but I believe something happened at about 3:30 or 3:45 in the afternoon. How did she call Dawn but couldn't call 911? She would say, that's a good question. But I guess she supposedly called on the Facebook data, like the right, Catherine. That's funny. I should probably. So there's that. Okay. Moving on. Merch idea. Brain of dehydrated shrimp.com. Okay. So I want to show you something. And credit goes to my friend and yours, Chris McDonough from the interview room, who has never given up on Summer either. A quote from Dawn, at least we had 5 years with her. Yeah, at least we had 5 years with her. I guess he's not expecting her ever to come home, right? Dawn said, or Candace rather, damn, I have to set my daughter aside to focus on the boys. And guess what? Guess what? She never focused on the boys either. Justin, who is Spider? I don't know what you mean. You have to be more. I don't know what you mean, Monica. Spider in chat?
I knew as soon as I pulled up, as soon as I pulled up and I didn't get a call back from Candace saying, oh, we found her, and I come all the way out from Jonesboro, and I probably made it in 30 minutes at least, if not faster. But
he says here, I knew when I didn't get a call back from Candace, something was up. Here's a problem, though. Here's a big problem. Dawn, again, it's harder to remember a lie, something that does never happened, because it doesn't stick in your brain. You didn't live it, right? Dawn, you said you spoke to Candace the entire way home. The entire way home. Yeah, that's what I thought they was talking about, Becky, but I wasn't sure if they were talking about the spider in the chat or not.
what was I knew as soon as I pulled up, as soon as I pulled up and I didn't get a call back from Candace saying, oh, we found her, and I come all the way out from Jonesboro, and I probably made it in 30 minutes at least, if not faster. But I beat all the police there, and I went straight to the bar pub, and I seen everybody look, and I knew she was gone. Because she don't go away from the house, ever. Yeah. And so I...
There's a lot of lies right there. He was not the first one there, number one. Number two, I don't give a damn unless he was flying in a helicopter. He wasn't going to make it there in 30 minutes. And number three, more importantly, he said he talked to Candace the entire way home.
What was your feeling as to why they weren't listening? What's your gut?
I'm not sure why. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I mean, probably because they figured that she was just lost. I don't know what I'm talking about, and and they had they all have different questions and this and that, and probably because many times before it's always been the parents too, and so or whatever. I'm not sure, but I just knew that she was headed down the road somewhere in somebody's car, and no matter what I was saying, it just wasn't getting through. I just felt like I was just totally lost. I was in shock.
Don said that that immediately they separated. They're pretty much immediately they separated Candace and Don, and he said they're doubting. That's his words. They're doubting our story because no one with a brain that's been on top of that hill or on that road believes someone came inside their home up on top of that mountain, kidnapped a child and all the dogs not bark. The two adults allegedly outside not hear it, and the children inside the house not hear anything. No. You'll never convince me of that. Not in 2 minutes. Again, most kids go outside and are kidnapped when a kidnapping occurs. A stranger, a non-familiar kidnapping, which is extraordinarily rare. You hear about it, all the time, especially in our genre, but it is a handful, truly a handful of kids in 325, 330 million people in this country. It is a handful of non-familiar abductions. Again, the only one that I have covered that is a non-familiar abduction that has been proven in the last 3.5 years is Michael Vaughn, that I'm aware of. Non-familiar. Okay. Very, very rare. It would be exceedingly rare for a non-familiar abduction to happen, period. But where their location is on top, like way back in the country on a 2-lane road, and then off of that on a 1-lane road, and off of that on a mountain, off of that a dead-end road, it just didn't happen.
So she's not here, I come to that conclusion right away, but.
And what brought you to that conclusion? That was pretty quick, right? I mean, what was your what was your feeling as to why?
So she's not here,
Oh crap!
I come to that conclusion right away, but.
Now, yes, I did cover the FedEx, and I have mentioned that before, but he hit the little girl first. I think it was technically an accident before. Didn't he hit? I'm trying to remember. I think he hit the little girl in accident, and then beforehand, and then hit her, if I'm correct. Okay.
What was your feeling as to why they weren't listening?
So she's not here, I come to that conclusion right away, but.
And what brought you to that conclusion? That was pretty quick, right? I mean, just knowing her, and that because we tried to scare the heck out of her and let her know, because we do have bears, right. And we do, them dogs. Like everybody keeps talking about them dogs, but they're the stupidest damn things, and they also will go away for days and then come back.
Yeah, they have bears, and that's. Again, a bear attack is extraordinarily uncommon as well. But more importantly, there would have been evidence. More importantly, bears don't usually come into your home and you not hear anything, and leave everything like it was as well. And if a bear did something, there would have been evidence everywhere. Promise you that.
It's really strange because I thought it was 5:30, but the 911 call says 6:30, 6:26 is when the first call come in. And that could well be. Sometimes I work till sunset, A lot of times I have been here lately, but I thought it was 5:30. But the strange thing of it is when we went to the Hawkins County to do our lie detectors and everything like that, they took all of our phones. And then
magically, all of our phone records from 3:30 on that day have been deleted.
Magically, he thought it was 5:30, but the 911 call says 6:30. And then guess what? On top of that, magically, magic. Do you believe in magic? He says his phone, his wife's phone, and his mother-in-law's phone was deleted from 3:30 onward. And then magically, Candace, Grandis, and Summer got home at about 3:16 that day. And then about 14 minutes later, magically, everything is deleted from all three phones. Magic.com. Right? I believe so. Coincidentally, 14 minutes after they arrive at home, all three phones delete, and Dawn doesn't know the time. And the dogs were on vacation, and nobody heard or saw anything.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, me, my wife's, and or her mother have all been deleted from 3:30 on.
So they had your phones that day then?
Yes, sir.
And when did they give them back to you?
They give them back, fairly quickly, but we never even looked at them until about, a week or two ago. We had some detectives that we talked to, a lot, and they wanted to know exactly this information, and we all looked, and it was all gone, deleted.
Hunter ain't that high tech. He thinks he was, but he's not.
It's really strange because I thought it was 5:30, but the 911 call says 6:30, 6:26 is when the first call come in. And that could well be. Sometimes I work till sunset, A lot of times I have been here lately,
Yeah, he's right about that. He had been working till sunset lately because remember the day before Summer vanished, he told Dudley that he was going to work till 9 p.m. that day, the day he was fired. Why? Why was he working till 9 p.m.? Well, I can tell you, because CPS was going to show up at their house. He knew it. He told Dudley. He tells us that CPS was there that evening. Now, CPS generally does not tell you when they're going to show up. However, many times they will if you're far out in the country. That they will.
It was 5:30, but the strange thing of it is when we went to the Hawkins County to do our lie detectors and everything like that, they took all of our phones, and then magically all of our phone records from 3:30 on that day have been deleted because the car was just sitting there, and I'm paying these payments, $600 a month plus the insurance, and it's just sitting there, and I thought, well,
let me tell you something. Don talks here about the car just sitting there, collecting dust, what a brand new car does. And so he says he packs all of his paint or, spackle buckets and all the tools into the perfectly brand new car at the time, because, that's a logical thing to do for someone to, put their mud buckets in a brand new car, take out all the tools from their perfectly good working work truck that has no problems at all, and puts this into a brand new car. But he later tells on the lab that he doesn't take the car that day. So I don't know why he's switching this around, which is very interesting to me. Mons, how many thumbs ups do we got? Guys, hit that thumbs up. Would really, really appreciate it. Candace kept those roads hotter than Don's math pipe. I had never caught the part of Candace took off in the truck. Did Summer ever get out of the truck? No forensics. I mean, she lived there, so it'd be hard. 695. Come on, guys, hit that thumbs up, please. We greatly appreciate it. Consider becoming a member of the Pearl family. I'd love to have you as well. All right, here we go.
Frantic, panicking. And I says, well, just in case, hang up and call 911. And I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was 5:30. To be honest with you, I don't trust police. We showed them all the information on our phones because they wanted to know. They wanted to know the timelines.
Don says, to be honest, I thought it was 5:30. ... To be honest with you, I don't trust police. You don't trust police searching for your 5-year-old daughter? And the FBI card team? You don't remember that? Yeah, we don't trust Don or Candace or Grandis. But that's what he says. I thought it was 5:30. Why would they lie? Why would police lie? Why would digital evidence lie? Why? No reason.
Instead of confusion and panic, I'd say,
Now,
cops in and out.
was there a car at the bottom of your driveway when you pulled up? Like a
No.
cop car or anybody? You just pulled right
There
in?
was nobody there. I was the first one there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He lied, and he was called out on that. Chris McDonough from the interview room knew better, that there was police there beforehand, and Don later changed that as well. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Sherry Lynn, for giving me you see that. Make sure you thank our girl, Miss Sherry Lynn, coming in clutch. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you.
Bottom of your property to the
Yes. I got that little dirt road. I went past that. I went straight down that hill, straight to the creek, and that's when I seen my boys. And then I seen my neighbor Don walking to the left side. The boys were on the other side of the hill, and I knew, like I say, I knew my heart just sank right there. I just knew she was gone.
And what brought you to that place first and not to the house?
Well, I figured they was looking all over the house, but I was thinking, well, they probably ain't been out on property yet or anything, so that's what made me drive down there first.
Okay. And then did you?
I went in the house, out of the house. I mean, we was turning everything, looking at.
So, he drives past his road and goes to his building that's on the main road beside, which is still his property. But he goes past his road where he gets to his driveway. because he says that was the logical thing to do, which it's not the logical thing to do. The logical thing to do would be go to your house where the authorities are. And he said, well, up there had already been looked at, right? But here's the thing. The boys and the neighbors was down there. So down there had already been looked at too. Something about that building, Don, you know it, and I know it, and a lot of people know it. Something about that building, Don.
Well, when I went in the house, out of the house. I mean, we was turning everything, looking everywhere. You know, we didn't know what to do, and the police started pulling up and this and that. And, yeah.
And where did you search?
Pretty much everywhere, in the sheds, the shed right there by the house, all the sheds, everything. I look everywhere. Mostly I screamed at the top of my lungs. So I was like, kid for summer, you know, hoping that she was just lost and around there close somewhere.
Jamie, they had a red van, if that's what you mean.
Well, when I come back from Utah, I was trying to move my family to Utah. I've always knew that something was going to happen to Summer. Something in my gut has always told me, and I've always told Candace, watch her closely. That's my baby. Do not let nothing happen to her. I told her that all the time.
What brought you to that thought?
I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what it was, or I just always had this feeling that something's going to happen to her. I didn't know if she was just going to get accidentally run over. I didn't know what it was.
Did you think she would be kidnapped?
Never, nothing like that.
Okay.
Who says that? You always knew? Always? In her 5 years, or 5 short years of life on the planet, you always knew something was going to happen to your daughter. Now, that's a very bizarre thing to say. It wouldn't be bizarre to say, I always feared something might happen, you know, to one of the kids or something like that. But I always knew something was going to happen to her. And I told Candace to watch out for her. Right? Hey, lovely house. Thank you so much, my dear, for 10 months coming in clutch, darling. Was it ever confirmed if Grandis was given prescription painkillers that day at the ER? And I wonder if LE counted them. No, I have no idea what she was given that day, and probably will never know. Probably never know, because that's, privacy. But you got to remember, during that time, this was the time of the Rona-virus, right? And the ERs was filled. Hey, PGH, good to see you, honey.
No, I just knew it was something. I just had this intense love for her. And I think she knew something too. I think something was, I don't know if you believe in guardian angels or what, but it's something. It's something.
And he says he believes Summer knew something was going to happen to her. My pleasure, lovely. Wish I could answer more of that, but now think about that. He said he knew that he believed, or he said he believed Summer even knew that something was going to happen to her. And he says he had this intense love for her. To me, that's a very bizarre way of saying that about your child. That's not a type of sentence we say generally when we love our kids, right? It's just not an intense love. It gives um to me it gives a connotation of, and I'm just going to say it, when you say intense love, it's generally like a romantic love, right? It's something you would hear in a novel, a romance novel, right? This intense love, burning, yearning kind of. It's just not something. Yes, yes. It's not a connotation that you would use for your children, right? You love your kids more than any other being on the planet. But the connotation of intense love, he has to back that up with that word, which it's very weird to me. Hey PGH, thank you so much, honey. Appreciate you. No kind of parents. Poor Summer. Yeah. 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 Yes, it's got a passion, a romance, not paternal for sure.
Have you known any kids to be traded for dope?
Never in my life. I've never even heard of anything like that before.
Okay.
I think it'd be interesting to see if one would even do anything like that. Because I think most of them tell you that they'd probably beat the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Do you know anyone that would trade their kid for dope? And Don says, never in my life. However, that's not what his family says. Don's family has made it very clear, and even Don has, and I'll tell you this in a second. Don's family has made it very clear that he tried to actually sell his son for dope. His oldest son. Don has 2 other children from a different relationship. So there's that. Don has also said, he has uttered the words himself that, quote, you would trade your soul to the devil when you're, you know, withdrawing. And it happens every day. Yep.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but you don't
I think some of them got more integrity than that, even though they're a damn drug dealer,
Sure.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, with the intensity of meth and, craziness,
Yeah.
right? Is it possible?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. The thing that to get at me, and we know he has an alibi, but that doesn't mean that he didn't get. And we know that they have ties because of Facebook. These detectives have told me that they have ties. They've worked with him. They know each other. I know he was psycho.
You say these detectives, not TBI, the people you're working with.
Right.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll gladly give you the number if maybe you guys.
Okay.
What about his mom?
You know what? I think the welfare. I know that she called the welfare on us. That's why the welfare was on us and why they was worried about the weed. Like, and they was fixing to close our case. But I think that she thought we called the welfare on her, and she was trying to get back at us. But we don't do that unless it's necessary.
What about his mom?
You know what?
Okay, here Dawn is talking about Allie, who was Candace's friend. They were on the outs because of a guy. But in my opinion, so CPS was at the Wells home about 10 and a half, 11 months prior to Summer going missing. And there was allegations of one of Allie's daughter and Dawn and Candace's oldest boy that they shared together. And whatever that was, I don't know the full details of, I know some, I don't want to speak about it, but anywho, Dawn left to Utah because of those allegations. He wanted Candace and the other kids to go with him. They declined. And Candace and two of the boys in Summer stayed back.
In your about his mom,
You know what? I think the welfare. I know that she called the welfare on us. That's why the welfare was on us, and why they was worried about the weed. Like, and they was fixing to close her case. But I think that she thought we called the welfare on her, and she was trying to get back at us. But we don't do that unless it's necessary.
what about his mom? In your heart of hearts, what do you want to happen to the person that did this?
Well, I'm afraid if I run into him, it's not going to be good.
Okay, walk me through.
I really am. Well, I'm not a violent person at all. But when I see somebody hurt a little kid or something, I can't help myself. I don't know what it is. Something just triggers in me. If I see someone being cruel, it don't have to be my kid. It can be anybody's kid. I see somebody being cruel to an animal, I tend to flip. I don't know why. I don't mean to. You got to understand that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what do you think should happen? What do you think should happen?
I have to leave it to God. And I know what prison's like, and I have mercy for anybody who's in prison, because you're lucky if you get out of there alive.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So would you want to see this person in prison?
I don't know if I could do that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no.
It just depends on all the circumstances,
what if it was an accident?
Well, that's different, and accidents happen,
Right. And could this have been an accident?
I have no idea. I know if Candace, had an accident or something, she'd call the authorities right away.
Right.
I know that. She's not devious like that. She's a good person.
This is the one thing that has always stuck out to me in the Summer Wells case. A father that says when a child is being mistreated or abused or neglected, tends to flip out. Something inside of him just wigs out. And you can understand that, right? He says, okay, yeah, I get that. That's understandable. What about, should they go to prison? I don't know about that. I've been to prison, he says. Hey, Sarah. I've been to prison, he says. He continues to say here, which I don't think I got it, but he says, death is better than prison. Death is better than prison. Night, Carol.
Even when the policeman brought her a bottle one night, I'm like, oh gosh, that was really nice of him, but man, questions come out, and I'm sure I just, no, I don't think it's possible. I really don't.
And so what did each of your sons tell you?
Well,
Listen.
One time me and Josie, he just started crying. I don't remember what I said to him or what. And he says, "Dad, it's not my fault." You know, and he was crying. I said, "I know, son. I know it's not your fault. I'm sorry." And I don't remember what I said to him or what to make him cry. But I just remember him saying, "It's not my fault." You know, and I felt bad. But we ain't been the same. Ain't gonna be the same.
And what was your other boy say?
Wyatt told my wife that if he would have went downstairs with Summer like she wanted him to, she wouldn't be gone. He feels like he's kind of guilty of it too.
And then your other?
Waylon's too young. He's just too young to understand right now.
And what were they playing hide and seek maybe?
No, they were all upstairs. The boys were playing Minecraft, watching Minecraft and playing games on the phone like they always do. They get stuck on it.
Right. You know, when the kids, I mean, their brothers and sisters, did they play a lot of hide and seek? That's a great place to play it up there.
Yeah, they have a few times, but at that time, you know, from everything I've heard, they wasn't. And then two, they took the boys to some specialists somewhere to be questioned.
Oh, good.
Yeah, a couple times.
Okay.
Because they can't just come out and ask them questions. They have to take them to specialists. So they was gone for quite a while. They had to drive them quite a ways away.
Right.
Okay. So this part right here. Is that what he says? Oh, maybe I missed that. Hold on, let me listen to that again.
And so what did each of your sons tell you?
Well, one time me and Josie, he just started crying. I don't remember what I said to him or what. And he says, "Dad, it's not my fault." You know, and he was crying. I said, "I know, son. I know it's not your fault. I'm sorry." And I don't remember what I said to him or what to make him cry. But I just remember him saying, "It's not my fault." You know, and I felt bad. But we ain't been the same. Ain't gonna be the same.
And what was your other boy say?
Wyatt told my wife that if he would have went downstairs with Summer like she wanted him to, she wouldn't be gone. He feels like he's kind of guilty of it too.
And then your other?
Waylon's too young. He's just too young to understand right now.
And what were they playing hide and seek maybe? Moment.
I do not believe, in my opinion, that the boys saw Summer that day. I don't. I think she was taken pretty much after they got there back. I think they could have said to the effect of perhaps watch your sister or whatever. And, you know, boys are boys. They're going to do something. But then again, I think of them saying, maybe I do think they did see Summer that day because they said they last saw her at the swing. They last saw her at the swing. And that is not downstairs. Right? But I do believe that, in my opinion, they put the boys in this because they're cowards, Don and Candace, meaning, and they wanted to use them as some sort of witness, and they wanted, you know, watch your sister. The neighbor said she heard the kid saying, "Dad, it's not my fault. I swear it's not my fault." or something to that effect. Yes. Yep. I've heard that too, that the last time they saw Summer was over his shoulder. Yep. I think Don and Candace knows. And I do believe there is potentially other people that knows as well. I believe
So what
Candace
what
knows.
did each of your sons tell you?
Well, like one time me and Josie were going to kill him and all that.
If you look at that interview, no, it doesn't, Marie. If you look at that interview of Don and his son, that little boy is, you can tell his head is down, but you can see his mind racing. And after the boys were adopted, they wouldn't say anything until after they were adopted. They made some allegations against Don and Candace that was unrelated to Summer. And that came directly from Candace's mouth. Directly from Candace's mouth. She's the one who said, the boys said happened to us. And you can imagine.
You know, and they didn't. Why? I don't understand why after all these years, Summer gets gone and automatically they turn on. You know, but I chalk it up to Dad was going to give me the house.
Okay.
And they're, you know, these are just tactics to keep me away. And I told him, I think through Facebook or whatever, I'll never call my dad again. I'll never talk to him again. You can have it all. You guys can fight over it. So, you know, the last time I talked to my dad, my sister was there. She handed him the phone, and I never talked to anybody else, and that was it. So I won't call their number because stepmom calls them and tells them everything.
Is that you said, what was her name?
My stepsister is Jeannie.
Jeannie.
And we did have a relationship when we were younger.
And what was?
And she's just as guilty as I am.
PGH, I missed that earlier, honey. I'm so sorry. Thank you for gifting that pearl necklace. I appreciate you, my love. Thank you so much. If you received that, make sure you thank our PGH. Now, this is Mary, one of Don's stepsisters that Don SA'd when he has admitted this when she was younger. Said that Don, when he was there last time with his one son, right, you know, about 10 months, 11 months before Summer vanished, Don was in there cussing his elderly, feeble father who didn't have good health at all and a bad memory and all that. Talking about this place, you know, needs to be mine, about his money and all of that stuff. Don was cussing and his elderly father. His elderly father has saved his ass many times. And this is what his elderly father got. Where was I going with that? Oh, now he's talking about his sisters, and he says she's just as guilty as I am. She was 5 years old when he started S-ing her. Remember, and I truly believe this, I truly believe why Don is wired like this now. Because I have shown you guys text messages of Don saying that him and his cousins used to go to his uncle's bedroom, and he had very, very nasty type of corn, but starts with a P. Got me? And they were young corn. And Don says it was sick corn. And for a developing young man, that can set off something really bad in your head, right? You are wired when you are going through puberty and this type of things. It can set off, fetishes. It can set off what, you can be attracted to, all of that. Okay. It's very complex. And I think because of Don talking about that, and I think because, in my opinion, Don, as a young man, young boy himself, starting with someone at the age of 5, set him off on a very, very bad path. It's like, yeah, some people are just genuinely programmed, right? But, whenever you are starting puberty, you are, your wires are still being developed, right? It's not, Linda. It's not. But I truly believe this is why. It's the exposure therapy. Yeah, it's like an exposure. It's kind of like most people are a product of their environment, right? A lot of people, most people don't break the cycle, the chain, or whatever. You are most like the 5 closest people around you, right? But particularly at that age, it can develop what you are attracted to. Whether, and it's just it's just crazy that Don even talks about this. But he says the 5-year-old was just as guilty as he is. Insanity.
Gonna kill him and all that, And they didn't. Why? I don't understand why. After all these years, Summer gets gone and automatically they turn on me. But I chalk it up to Dad was going to give me the house. Okay. And they're, these are just tactics to keep me away. And I told him, I think through Facebook or whatever, I'll never call my dad again. I'll never talk to him again. You can have it all.
If the right person is caught, again, what would you do to that person?
I would have to turn it over to the Lord, because the Lord says vengeance is mine. So I have to do that. I have to. God has changed my life, big time.
Would you forgive him?
Well, I would do my best. I would do my very best to try.
And why? And why?
That is a perfect example in Cold Blood, in Cold Mood 5, like Richard Ramirez. Exactly how he became attracted to what he was attracted to. Yeah, very well said.
Because God tells us to. Okay. It's our duty, you know. Okay. But whether I could actually do it or not is a whole other story, you know.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It might take the rest of my life to work on something like that.
Right.
What should happen? What would you do? Well, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, he says. Well, yeah, but that's later. I might need a little something now. I'll tell you that.
Several times. First day that he was up there, and she's told me several times since then.
Did you think of him the day Summer disappeared?
Yes, I did.
And what did you think?
He's my first suspect. He still is.
And why did you tell me why?
Because he's out to get me any way he can. He'll do anything to get at me.
So this
except for face me face to face.
Got it. And so,
cowardly.
I understand. I respect that.
No.
And when why do you think what would be his motive outside of to take her to revenge against you? Why would there be another reason in your head?
Well, okay, like 7 years ago.
That's all right. You finish your thought.
Oh, I was going to say, this is the fifth person in a row that I've had to fire over drugs. Yeah. The fifth one in a row. Yeah. And it seems like after they get that paycheck, you know, that's when it all starts.
Yeah, and when he's been up on your property there, has he seen Summer?
Yes, and Candace said he didn't like the way that he was looking at her.
Tell me about that.
Well, I'm not sure. All I know is she was mad because he was looking her up and down. You know, that's what she told me.
And when was that?
Several times. First day that he was up there, and she's told me several times since then.
Did you think of him the day Summer disappeared?
Yes, I did.
He is talking about Dudley here. Dudley is the man that he fired the day before Summer went missing. The day, that morning, Dudley said he went in. Don was laying in the bathtub when he got there, and he looked like he had lost his best friend. And it looked like he was thinking. And he ended up firing Dudley after that, but you know, about halfway through that day. And earlier, Don said he was going to work late that night because CPS was going to be there. What was that question? Yep, that's right. Mohawk didn't know she was a boy or girl first. Yeah. Yeah, Mira Stevens. And let me tell you something. Deal with your sins now. Don't take it to God.
Kids, I don't know what you're talking about there.
Well, she said that, you know, by the way, are you guys still on talking terms? I might as well clear.
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, I don't have no problem with her. I think she's gotten clean. Okay. She's had years of meth problems, but I think she's finally gotten clean and she's somewhat got her head straightened out.
Okay.
And so we've been talking, but
yeah, there was where she said that you were kind of spun out, and you know that your kids got with somebody else, and you know she didn't know about it, and she went and got them.
I don't know anything about that. I have no idea. I never heard that anything like that.
Okay. And that's why I'm asking you. I mean, right now, I always go right to the source. You know what I mean?
Right.
He doesn't know about his sisters and all that stuff here. About not only was there two sisters that Dawn admitted to SAing, but and this was Mary had went to the police, if I recall correctly. Mohawk, help me. But then Dawn's dad said, go down and tell them that it didn't happen or something, or the family was going to be split up. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dreamcatcher. Yes, his oldest daughter said, and this is exactly what he said. He said, My oldest daughter she was art or essayed, I can't remember, but she didn't go whining. She didn't go crying. She took it like a champ. You are not a good person if you think that is okay. If you think someone that says something like that is a good person, you're not a good person either if you support that. It's just the way it is. He was comparing that to the irony, and I use is that was his daughter. She didn't go whining, she didn't go crying, she took it like a champ. And he was comparing that to his sister, his stepsister, who was 5 years old when it started happening, that he admits he did. His stepsister, and his other stepsister, and their friend, they all say that Don did this. He admitted to 2 of them. But I think Chris talked to 5 or 6 different women. But he's comparing his stepsister that he admits to and his daughter that was abused. She didn't go whining. She didn't go crying. She took it like a champ. What father thinks that is okay that their daughter didn't whine and cry and took it like a champ? 7 people, Mohawk. Thank you. The only, the saying, it takes one to know one. The only person that would say that is it takes one to know one, which he admitted about his 2 sisters. Thank you, Yelva. Very good, Loud Jasper James. Thank you, Yelva. Thank you, darling. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Beautiful. Hopefully you had a good Christmas.
And that kicks down a lot of information either way. And no matter what, I mean, people are going to, if she tells somebody this or that, there's a lot of he said, she said.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. That cocaine thing for me was really tough for me to get over for years. And I'm not going to say a lot to you.
Were you,
The Coca-Cola thing was hard for him to get over for years. To date, 12/27/25, Don has not gotten over it that I'm aware of. I don't believe him then, and I don't believe him now.
I'm going to play a phone call, and I'm only going to play a snippet of it, because I want you to, as we go into a slide presentation, and then we're going to go back to the phone call. Okay?
It's a little fast.
I really want you to see, okay, that behavior of the power reassurance predator. Okay? So I'm going to hit the call real fast. I'll play it multiple times. We'll slow it down. I'll have it also transcribed. Okay? But I think this is an important piece of this puzzle. And this goes back to August of 2021. And at that time, Mr. D.W. was making all kinds of remarks on the internet. And he was also trying to persuade family members to not go to the authorities. And so Miss Mary called me a while ago. And, they had been talking to TBI. Jeannie had turned her information in. But she called me and said, he keeps trying to chime me up here. I said, that's perfect. Press your record button. And so all of that was done and turned over to the authorities. And that's why I'm not going to play all of them. But this is about Summer. Okay? But in these calls, I want you to listen very carefully And now this is based on what we've also been already privy to now, 8 months into this. But this is Don's mindset from, maybe 6 months ago even. But
Oh my
more
God,
importantly, I would submit to
Deborah.
you, this is his mindset since he was 12 and maybe younger. And I think we have SA victims who we need to be sensitive to show us and to have had the courage to come and say, this is what happened. Listen to the mindset of the perpetrator.
So it's okay. No, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just not gonna worry about it no more. I'm not running from her. And her bullshit. I've been paying for this shit my whole life. She's done this shit to me my whole life, and I'm done. No, I'm not gonna worry about it. I can't prove nothing. What I done was
Can I slow it down? Hold
I
up.
apologize to her for that. But other than that, I'm not worrying about it.
Okay, so I don't know.
I mean, I've been to places
The next
in
one.
California where I've been.
Okay, this is the part
Listen.
of the whole call. This is the part I think has the most relevance potential in Summer's case. Okay, I'm going to back it up here. And I want everybody to listen to this very carefully. And then let's weigh in. So here we go.
Have done what I did. I get that. Right. I still have, I remember many times throughout my life, girls hitting on me. I've been to places in California where I've been to some places where there were little kids, where people were trying to sell these little kids. Oh, wow. I've seen a lot of shit.
Okay, so let's stop right there. This is the whole reason.
I mean, I've been to places in California where I've been.
Okay, this is the part for the whole call. This is the part I think has the most relevance potential in Summer's case. Okay, I'm going to back it up here. And I want everybody to listen to this very carefully. And then let's weigh in. So here we go.
Have done what I did. I get that. Right. I still have, I remember many times throughout my life, girls hitting on me. I've been to places in California where I've been to some places where there were little kids, where people were trying to sell these little kids. Oh, wow. I've seen a lot of shit.
Okay, so let's stop right there. This is the whole reason.
Yep. You've seen things happen to little kids, and you didn't do nothing about it. And that's the question, Brandy. That's the question I always bring to you guys. I've never been to a place like that. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Most of us wouldn't. The only place, wait, let me rephrase that. The only people that is in an area like that is, again, it takes one to know one. Right? It takes one to know one. And there you have it, folks. Hey, Matt, how you doing, darling? We were thinking about you and praying for you, darling. Asking about you earlier.
I'm going to play.
Let me see here. Let me find it.
It's really strange because I thought it was fine. It's really strange because the car was just sitting there, and I'm paying these payments.
Okay. Trying to pull these old things up right here. This is summer. Look at this. Just like you see Jack and Lily, you can tell when a kid is taken care of. You know, when someone's taken care of. She's very tiny for her age. She's very, dirty. Her hair's not washed, combed, I mean. Look at this. Look at the walls and all this. This was little Summer's favorite. You do something. I just now noticed something. Look at this door. There's a damn hole where a lock's supposed to be there, and it looks like the glass is knocked out. Right there. I just now noticed that after 4.5 years. Did y'all notice that? I'm sorry, darling Joe. I'll stop calling you darling, honey. Remember, Summer went missing where the Rona was. Might be, yeah. See the door, the hole in it, though? And I think this is when things got bad. It's more abuse and all that. But, the good thing about the government is whenever they gave money out to people, all of us pretty much, that needed it, right? But then there was a lot of people that needed it, but used it for their nose. More alcohol or whatever. And in my opinion, that's what happened. That's when the family system really went downhill. Because until Summer was about 3 years old, maybe 2.5, 3 years old, Candace actually did a decent job of taking care of her kids. She would take pictures of all of them in clean clothes. The house was a lot cleaner. And things was a lot better. You're so sweet, Yilva. This is Summer and her little friend. Summer not too long before she was done something with. It still pisses me off. Oh God, I thought I was showing you guys. I'm sorry. Right there. Right there is her and her little friend. I agree, Barbie. I agree. And I believe God knows exactly who did what. That was Summer right before she went missing. This one makes me really sad. Because of Summer doesn't look well there. You can tell she's really sick and everything. And Candace put these up for sale as well. Thank you, Melissa. Good to see you, honey. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. Thank you, Miss Melissa. Appreciate you. That's a photo in the front of the camper with her little friend, right? Yeah. But Candace put up all of her stuff for sale. Before she went missing. Right. Look at this. I've got it all from this case, y'all. Very beginning. Tennessee Amber Alert, quote, statistically, there's a good chance she's already dead. If you look at it statistically, end quote, Don Wells said of his missing daughter, Summer Wells, quote, I hate to think that. I love her with all my heart, but only God, if nothing else, I'll see her in the resurrection. This was the day Summer went missing. Look at this. It says Summer is 4 feet tall, blonde hair. They said she was 4. And a lot of people said it was the police that got it wrong or the dispatch that got it wrong. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I understand there can be error. But Don and Candace didn't know how old their daughter was or her birthday. Okay? So let's remember that. Let's remember that. It was not the dispatch. This was the day she went missing. This is what the Hawkins County Rescue Squad was told. Sorry. Last seen wearing a pink shirt and gray shorts. Gray shorts. Did you take off the pants? Did they take off those pants? Because she had like a black pant on, or maybe a very, very dark gray. Summer was last seen around 7 p.m., leaving her residence on foot of Ben Hill Road off Beach Creek Road. Now, again, could be error, or they just might not have had their fucking story together yet. The public is advised to avoid this area if possible. Anyone who may make contact with Summer, please contact 911. A command post has been established by Hawkins County Emergency 911 and Hawkins County Rescue Squad at the Mount Carmel Freewell Baptist Church. A joint information center will be established at Salmon's Temple Baptist Church at the intersection of Beach Creek Road and Blair's Gap Road. And they just talk about all the agencies. This was them searching for Summer Wells that night. Look at them out there. Make that big. That was them out there. They went non-stop whenever they all knew that, in my opinion, where she was and what happened. Oh, yeah, I showed up. Yeah. Indeed, my dear. They have either ruined, ended, or tried to ruin 9 human beings. 9 human beings that they have created. That's not including the ones that they have affected everywhere in their path that those two go. The strife is there always. Pain, torment. Hold on. The search for missing 5-year-old Summer Wells is still active as of 12:30 this morning. Search crews are sped out in a line along the field of Beach Creek Road. Update: crews are actively searching a field near the Beach Creek Road, Hawkins County. This is where Summer Wells was reported missing. That was the night she vanished. June 22nd, 2021. This is by Nick Bearass. And he talks about it's been a week since Summer Wells disappeared, leading to an Amber Alert. And now there is a shift in the investigation with still no sign that the child wandered away. There's a growing emphasis on the theory Summer is a victim of foul play. Right. The timeline and all that stuff. Oh, look at this. Interesting one right here. Yeah, he aggravates the shit out of me, Brandy, since Sebastian's case, so I call him Nick Bearass. Another warrant obtained by News 2 states the FBI and the Tennessee Highway Patrol had also responded to the home on August 13, 2001, where the residence was searched and Wells was found hiding in a storage room. That time, Wells was arrested for a parole violation out of Utah and charged with being a fugitive from justice. The TBI has told reporters that they have not ruled out foul play in the disappearance of Summer Moon Utah Wells. That's where they were planting flowers or rearranging the flowers. Yep, they did Liberty. Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree, Vivian. God will take care of it. I do believe it, and I keep the faith that there's too many people praying that Summer is going to get justice. Yeah, Marie. I'm afraid you're right. I'm afraid you're right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. We might talk about a little bit tomorrow, more on the 3500 block of Van Hill Road. I'm trying to get more information about specifics on certain things. But from what I understand, Dawn and this person knew each other. There was the family, and one or two of them, they frequently seen each other like working in the same areas. So that could also be part of it. We'll see. Maurice, how long you been here? I just now saw you. And this flute player that supposedly, no. 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 Nobody cremated Summer like that. No. I've worked at funeral homes. I didn't cremate her. No. I think out of anything that happened, that is almost 100% no. It's really hard to cremate someone. I do too, Ash Cash, and I think that we're closer than we were. Because Dawn and Candace are squirming. And I think there's other people squirming too. Hiding in the bushes. Girl, the closet's too small and it's too dark to decorate. Get out of that bush or closet or whatever. Love you, honey. Yes, and we'll see. We'll see. Thank you, guys. God bless each and every one of you. Justice for Summer Moon Utah Wells. Not going to stop. Dawn, Candace, and whoever else. You understand? Okay. Love you guys. Good night. Hey, Drew.